Eating healthy is expensive, or at least that's what most people think. But what if I told you that switching to a carnivore diet might actually save you money? Today, Jason is taking you grocery shopping, comparing prices at different stores, and breaking down the real cost of eating this way versus his old diet of fast food, sodas, and processed snacks. So, is eating only meat actually more expensive, or is it just a myth? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be rethinking your grocery list.
Come with me as I investigate which store gives me the best bang for my buck on the carnivore diet.
There's something going on inside of me.
Today we're going to stick with the basics: steak, ground beef, eggs, and bacon. It sounds simple because it is. My goal is to get everything down to a per pound price so I can really understand where am I spending too much money or where am I getting a better deal. Today I'm visiting 3 local stores: a local grocer that we have, Safeway, a local discount grocer, Winco, and Costco. All 3 of these are within about a 25-minute drive of my home, but Safeway, our local grocery store, is the most convenient at only 5 minutes away. But I have a feeling it might be the most expensive, so today's going to be a valuable lesson in understanding where I'm spending my money and where I should be. Let's go. Let's go. I don't always go with ribeye. I usually go with what a better price is. But for comparison, we're going to stick with ribeye across all 3 stores. Here at Safeway, these always look really good, and they generally are. The price here today is $23.99 per pound. Moving on to ground beef. I like to stick to the 80-20% ground beef. 80% lean, 20% fat. Price here is $8.99 per pound for the 80%. Oh my gosh, I've never seen this. Completely out of eggs. We all know about the egg issues we've had in our country for the last couple of months. Either we're completely out like we are here at our store, or the prices are super expensive. In some cases, I've seen it 3 times more than normal. But I've never seen it completely sold out. So this is a first. Plenty of bacon to choose from. I like to buy the larger packs, the 48 ounce, and it's usually cut a little bit thicker. The price today for the 48 ounce package of bacon is $28.99. Next, we're going to go to our local discount grocer, Winco. All right, approaching the ribeye aisle. On first glance, they don't look near as good as they did at Safeway. However, the price per pound is quite a bit cheaper, $17.08 per pound. I'm in the ground beef section, and I'm not finding the 80% lean. They do have 73% lean, which is uncommon. And I do want to try that. And it's got a great price at $4.38 per pound. Okay, we have eggs here. 60 count eggs, $43.98. That's 73 cents per egg. Bacon, we found a similar pack of 48 ounce thick cut bacon, $20.48. And now off to our last stop at Costco. I love going to Costco, but I'm going to stay focused this time. I'm going to stick to the meat that we need to look for, and we're going to go home. I love how fresh they look and how thick they cut their ribeyes here. And we have a good price of $14.99 per pound. Now with the ground beef, I'm not finding the 80% lean. The leanest I can find is the 88% lean, but it's a good price of $4.59. Plenty of eggs here as well. The 24 count is $7.69 or 32 cents per egg. And our 48 ounce bacon, $13.49. From a price perspective, Costco is the clear winner. I was pretty sure it would be. And our local grocery store, Safeway, which is only 5 minutes from my house, is by far the most expensive. 40% plus more expensive than going to Winco or going to Costco. So I need to do a better job of driving a little bit farther and doing my shopping elsewhere. The other great thing I like about Costco is their meat is always on par. Their meat always looks really fresh and it's always thick cut. And I'm talking about their ribeyes, their New Yorks, their chucks, their tri-tips, their roasts. Everything is always prepared great. And I've never had an issue with grilling or cooking here at home with any of the meats I've ever gotten from Costco. One of the biggest comments I get is, how do you afford to eat like this? It must be so expensive to eat meat all day long. That's a great question. And to answer that, I had to go back and take a close look at how my diet used to be before I started this diet. And I'll admit, after I put all this down, I hesitated sharing this with everybody because, frankly, it's embarrassing. And second, I really didn't want my wife to understand how out of control I was for so many years. Though I think she probably knew. Most mornings, I would stop somewhere like McDonald's and have a sausage egg McMuffin with a hash brown and a soda. $9.39. At some point during the day, I would stop for a snack at a gas station. A small treat and a soda, $6.82. Now, for lunch every day, I felt some motivation to try to eat healthier. So my way of doing that was stopping at a grocery store and going to their deli, where I would try to find a sandwich. But if I'm being honest, it usually turned into the deli pizza. That, along with a soda, was generally around $12. Most nights for dinner, I would eat at home with the family. Kim would make a meal that was for all of us, and generally a lot cheaper because she would buy in bulk, have a variety of less expensive ingredients. So I would say that my average cost for my portion, let's say $5. And oh yes, dessert. Ben & Jerry's chocolate fudge brownie was my go-to. And yeah, I would finish off the pint. I didn't know how to start one and not finish it. $6.99. Grand total for my daily consumption, $40.20. Now keep in mind, this is an average. Some days were less, some days were a little more. Especially the days we ate out. If we were to go to dinner at night as a family, my cost would be substantially more expensive. Let's see, $40 a day, $280 a week, $1,100 a month, $13,000 a year, and that's just myself. And that's not giving me good fuel. That's hurting me. But how does that compare to my lifestyle now, where I eat only meat, mostly red meat? So the next question we need to ask is, how much do I eat every day on the carnivore diet? I eat around 3 pounds of protein every day. I average around a half a pound of protein from steak. We can use ribeye as the example in this video. 2 pounds of my protein come from ground beef, either in a skillet that I fry up in butter or in the form of a hamburger. And then another half a pound comes from eggs and bacon. What's the cost on that? Based on the per pound price we found at Costco, a half a pound of ribeye is $7.50. 2 pounds of ground beef would be $9.18, and a half a pound of eggs and bacon would be about $3, for a grand total of $19.68, for a total daily savings of $20.52. $20.52 saving. That's half what I was spending before I started this diet. How does that compare long term? My average per day on the carnivore diet is $19.68. $137 per week, $550 per month, and $6,600 per year. Half what I was spending before I started this diet. This video focuses on the basic foods that you use when you start the carnivore diet. These are the 4 foods that I ate exclusively for the first 90 days. Today, 2 years later, I still incorporate a lot of these foods, but I also eat a lot of chicken thighs. I eat a lot of roast that you can buy at a much cheaper per pound price. I eat a lot more fish. But one of the other big contributors is I eat a lot less than I used to. I eat my 3 pounds of protein in 2 meals, usually for lunch and for dinner. The quantity of food that I eat now is much less than it used to be, which is a big contributor to the reduced costs. I pay more money for higher quality food, but I pay less because of quantity. But I will say, if I did this whole research project and I found that I was spending more money on the carnivore diet than I was prior to the carnivore diet, I would still do it. It's the number one best investment that I've ever done in myself. Physically, I'm healthier. Mentally, I'm more clear. Spiritually, socially, I'm more aware. Frankly, I've never been happier or as self-confident as I am today. I know many of you might not eat as poorly as I did before I started this diet. But I have a feeling there are some that are eating as bad and probably worse. To you, I say, give this a try. Not only will you notice the health benefits, you'll notice a reduction in your expense. Now that I've done this practice and I've really compared the numbers, I'm motivated to see if I can get it even cheaper. So I'm going to start looking at a local butcher. My wife and I are looking at an outfit close by where we can buy a whole cow. My sons and I are building a chicken coop so that we can have chickens and have our own eggs here. And I need to convince Kim for us to get pigs for bacon. We'll see how that goes over. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Please comment below and let's have a good discussion about what your experience has been like or what your future plans are and your goals. If you have any other good tips and tricks, please share so that we can all learn together and find the best ways of being successful on this diet. Until next time.
You got me feeling good, right by your side. Lost in every move, riding down your spine. Baby, hold me tight, let me trace your